Welcome to Otisam Mathematics. I am on a series, the 7 building blocks of mathematics. Block 7, quadratic equation. In this video, I'm going to look at quadratic function as the nature of the graph of quadratic function. On the screen, let f such that x maps to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are all constants, and the coefficient of the x squared should not be equal to 0. Denote quadratic function. The graph of quadratic function is called parabola. You can call it U-shape. We have two types. So now the first one is if the coefficient of x squared, if it is greater than 0, that is positive, then the graph opens upwards. It has a least value or minimum value here. Number 2, if the coefficient here is less than 0, then the graph opens downwards. So it opens downwards like this, and we are going to have the maximum value or the greatest value. So basically, these are some of the information that you need to know. Okay, so how do we find the maximum and minimum points of quadratic function, or the turning points? Now we go back to completing of square. Yes, when we started solving quadratic equation, one of the methods of solving quadratic equation is by the use of completing of square. So we are going to use this to find the maximum value, the minimum value, or the maximum point, minimum point. So let's go through how we complete the square. So if y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. If you want to complete the square, we said that the coefficient of x squared must be 1. So we need to factorize a out so that this becomes 1. So we bring it out, a out. As soon as you bring it out, you divide the rest by a. So you have x squared plus b on a x plus c on a. We have not changed anything. When you multiply through, you still get the same thing. So we are now going to complete the square. So a, we said that to complete the square, you find half of this. So half of b on a, we have b over 2a. And then we add it to x to square it. So we have x plus b over 2a all squared. We have added b on 2a, so we need to subtract it. So plus c on a minus b over 2a all squared. So when you expand this, you get this term. So we need to subtract it so that we get our original expression, x plus b on 2a all squared plus c on a minus b squared over 4a squared. So we have to find the LCM. LCM is 4a squared, and this we are going to get 4a. So we have 4ac minus this will go to here 1 b squared. So we have a multiplying x plus b on 2a all squared plus 4ac minus b squared over 4a squared. So we are going to multiply. So you have a times x plus b on 2a all squared plus 4ac minus b squared. So 1a, one way will cancel a squared, so we have a. So this is how we complete the square, like so. That is the standard. Okay, so after completing the square, let's go back. This value here gives the maximum or the minimum. If a is negative, then this is the maximum. If a is positive, then this is the minimum. Now, where does the maximum or the minimum value occur? So as I said, if a is greater than 0, y has a minimum or least value, and it is that, and it occurs as x plus b on 2a is equal to 0, and it is the same as axis of symmetry. So when you find x will be minus b over 2a. That is axis of symmetry. And then when the coefficient of x squared is less than 0, then we are going to have the maximum or the greatest value, and this is that. So where it occurs, the maximum or the minimum value is the x component, the point at which the maximum value occurs. For example, if you have this, so assume that this is the minimum, so the value of x that occurs is the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry, that's minus b on 2a, and then this will be the maximum or the minimum depending on the value of a. Okay, find the minimum value of 2x squared plus 6x minus 20 and determine the value of x for which it occurs. Now this question is open, so you can use the formula direct. Yeah, we said that for maximum or minimum, 2x squared plus 6x minus 20. This is the function. Now for maximum, a must be less than 0. Now if you compare it with ax squared plus bx plus c, you realize that a is equal to 2, which is greater than 0. Now if a is greater than 0, then it means that the graph will have a minimum value. So this is minimum value. So for minimum value, we said that minimum value, we have 4ac minus b squared on 4a. So a is 2, b is 6, then c is minus 20. So we just substitute it. So 4 times a, 2 times c minus 20 minus b squared, 6 squared. 4 times 2. So 4 times 2, 8. 8 times minus 20, which is minus 160. Minus 160. And then this will be 36 over 8. So you are going to have minus 196 over 8. So when you simplify, you are going to get minus 49 on 2. That is the minimum value. And we were asked to find the value of x for which it occurs. So x is equal to minus b on 2a. So we just substitute. So minus b, which is minus 6 on 2 times 2. So minus 6 over 4, which is minus 3 on 2. Yes. You can also use completing of square. By completing the square, you can pick these values. Okay, now let's look at the next one. Express the function f of x is equal to 5 minus x minus 2x squared in the form this. So be careful. This time you don't have any option. You have to complete the square. Hence find the least or the greatest value of the function and the value of it at which it occurs. So the function is f of x is equal to 5 minus x minus 2x squared. So if you compare it with the standard one, A is minus 2, B is minus 1, then C is 5. A is negative, which means that we are going to have the greatest or the maximum value. Greatest or the maximum value. So let's complete the square. We can rewrite it as minus 2x squared minus x plus 5. And then since we want the coefficient here to be 1, we can pull minus 2 out, and as soon as you do that, you have x squared. You divide this by that plus x minus 5. So this will be x on 2, this will be minus 5 on 2. So minus 2. So when you find half of this, you are going to get 1 over 4. So you add your variable to it, 1 over 4 all squared minus 5 on 2 minus, so 1 over 4 squared. So you have minus 2 x plus 1 on 4 all squared minus 5 on 2 minus 1 on 16. You can find the LCM, which is 16, and then this will go here, 8 times 5, so minus 40 minus 1. So we are going to get minus the bracket x plus 1 over 4 all squared minus 41 over 16. We want to simplify that. So we can multiply through. So minus 2 x plus 1 over 4. So minus 2 times this, we are going to have positive. So positive 2 will go here 8. So 41 on 8. So therefore greatest value will be 41 on 8. And then the value of x at which it occurs. So x plus 1 on 4 is equal to 0. So x will be minus 1 on 4. So viewers, thank you very much for watching this video. Click on the subscribe button if you have not done so.